Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the audio edition, the edition that is done specifically for audiophiles. Right? This is not meant to be a video excursion. It's an audio excursion because that's what improves your imagination. What you're doing, just listening and not being distracted by a lot of visuals, is you are kind of going into sort of a hypnotic state, kind of an alpha state. And that gives you the opportunity to open up your imagination, which of course helps you to manifest better. So that's the whole premise here. You come first. You are first in the readings because everything begins with you, right? You've heard that before, of course, and it is true. Now, I'm not talking narcissism here. I'm talking about good, healthy image of yourself, self-worth, boundaries, those kinds of things. Never wishing to harm or hurt anyone else, take advantage of anyone else, but making sure that the same applies to you. All right. So here we go. Let's do the manifesting for today, the first day of March. It's going to be a very interesting month, and it begins with chaos and conflict. That is the card bottom row center. The center cards in both the bottom and upper row are critical cards, and this Oracle card is no exception. Chaos and conflict. Wow. Now, what you're seeing here is something that looks much like a horse, but it has something like a zebra to it, and it's falling apart in pieces. What that tells me is that the image is either in transition or not clear. It can be either one. And so that being the case, because the vision is not clear, at least in terms of its definition, you have a tough time making a decision. What is it? Now, at this point, we see it's something like a horse, but we're talking about your life, you, okay? There is that chaos and conflict thing going on inside of you, and this month, it may highlight a good deal of that. 2023 is going to be a very important year. I've been saying it since January. It will continue to be a pivotal year for everybody, starting first with your own individual life, right? So right now, chaos and conflict in some area of your life, I call it cosmic static. A lot of interference. You can't quite get the signal. Now, this would fit probably more in old-time radios. I don't think it would fit so much in the digital age, although it could. You know, where you've listened in on something and you can hear someone's voice or music in the background, but the static is so overwhelming that you can't quite make it out. You think you got it. But, boy, sort of what's going on in your life. A signal is coming through, but not enough of it for you to grab onto. It's that cosmic static. It's interfering with your perception, your ability to see clearly or to feel clearly. Chaos and conflict. Okay. So we're on the bottom row, far left card. It's the moon. Well, how appropriate for this reading. Because the moon is all about seeing it, but not clearly. Right? There's kind of a bewilderment. It's sort of an illusion. You get a day with a big full moon, an evening with a big full moon. And you can see a lot. There's no question about it, but you can't see everything. Not like you can in the middle of the day with a sunny day. You can't do that. Just enough to be tantalizing and to think you can see an image, but not 100% sure. And that's what's going on. So what does this indicate? Well, the moon card indicates that you need to use your intuition. Okay? That you may not be getting the whole story. In fact, with the chaos and conflict, the cosmic static, you're not getting the whole story. You're picking up parts and pieces, and that's what's creating the chaos and conflict, because you need more information to be able to make a decision that makes sense to you, but you just can't grab that signal, can't see it clearly enough. What does it have to do with? Well, it has to do with your sense of value. What's really important to you? Page of Pentacles. Pages always change the storyline. You're headed in one direction, boom. So here you are, not really being able to pick up a significant or important signal for you. You're getting static. You're just getting bits and pieces. It's important for you to know to move forward, but you can't quite get a clear signal, so you don't know whether to come or go left or right. You're just kind of stuck. Page of Pentacles says, what you need is to review your value system. That's creating the problem. You're not clear on your values. When you're in this situation, well, this would be appropriate. If I'm in this situation, something else would be appropriate. And that it's that imbalance that we all go through, especially these days, trying to navigate our lives. It's that imbalance. It's that partial signal. It's that kind of grouping of values that we've had to put together to exist that are now conflicting with one another. And so what works in one session or one situation, not so much in another. And may not even work with you on an inside level. There's kind of an imbalance. Geez, I got to do this to be able to, make a living, or I got to do this to be able to have friends, or I got to, you get that kind of thing. And you're not into it. You're not connected to it. Chaos and conflict. So let's move over to the next card. And again, this emphasizes your intuition. Just like the moon did, we got the High Priestess. And that is her key power, intuition, the subconscious mind. I think that's where the cosmic static or the chaos and conflict is really centered. It's between what you have to do day to day in your life and what your soul or spirit is telling you that you should be doing. And yet you can rationalize it like all of us do. Well, I got to live, man. I'm in the 3D world. I can't think 5D. I can't. And while indeed that is true to some extent, little out of balance for you is creating that cosmic static so that your sense of value, your sense of ethics change in the given situation. That's not appropriate. That doesn't feel right. It's what you think you need to do to survive, but that's what's creating the noise. And in fact, it's gotten to the point where we have the Four of Cups. You're completely disinterested. You don't care. You're bored. You're self-absorbed. You're trying to figure out how can I just survive? That's all. Not enjoy my life, not participate in my life, not be active in my life, not even have a life. Just how can I hang in there? At what cost? To the point where, again, there's a sense of boredom because you are so self-absorbed and just trying to exist. And there's this conflict with what your inner voice, your spirit is telling you between that and what you're doing. Whew. Chaos and conflict, creating apathy. I don't really give a damn. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. Now, you don't always feel that way, but it comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes, and that adds to the chaos and conflict. So let's go upstairs, second row. Two of Swords. You got to make a decision. Swords are thoughts, ideas. You're in a stalemate right now. You're blocking your inner voice. You're blocking what you know is your inner truth just to survive. So you have to decide, what am I going to do? Am I going to keep up with the chaos and conflict? Am I going to see this battle between my inner spirit and what I have to do to survive? Or am I going to help to resolve this situation, clear it up a little bit so I can see it better? That's the decision. Next to it, we have the King of Cups. Kings always make the proclamations, right? Well, the king is loving, tolerant, and is a very subtle influence. And that love the king is promoting is self-love. It is being clear with yourself, being honest with yourself. in a loving and supportive way. That's what's really key here. So when we were talking about a little earlier, the Page of Pentacles, changing your values, that may be what needs to be changed. Instead of making adjustments just to be able to survive, you're not getting anywhere anyway. You're feeling the chaos and conflict. It's a tough place to be. So why not just be a little gentler with yourself? It doesn't mean be easy. Just be honest. Be supportive of yourself. Because you are coming to a time when you're going to have to change your approach. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune always talks about destiny. It's a turning point. It's an awakening. You are coming to the realization that, yes, I got to change the arrangement here. Too much chaos and conflict. It wears me down. It tires me out. It demoralizes me. I have to stop. I can stop. I'm the only one who can stop. And so that's what the King of Swords is. Again, King makes a proclamation like the King of Cups said, to love yourself in a healthy way. King of Swords says, straighten out your thinking. Make a decision. Decide which way are you going to go. You cannot stay where you are. Too much static, too much conflict, too much chaos. Your inner self battling with your outer self. Do I try to survive on a day-to-day basis, or do I try to look at myself as something existential? You know, short view, long view, short view, long view. And so much around us these days are telling us that the short view is a road to nowhere. If you play the game their way, it's their game. They can take and leave. They can completely change the rules, or they can do whatever they want. It's their game board. You're playing Monopoly on their board. You're beginning to understand that. That creates chaos and conflict for you, because you got to do one thing to survive, but you have to do another thing to live. Whew, tough. And the final card in the center is the Ace of Cups. Aces are always about you. And again, it goes back to the idea of a healthy self-love. Be gentle with yourself. Be supportive of yourself. It doesn't mean that you want to take advantage of anybody else. It doesn't mean that you want to hurt anybody at all. It doesn't mean any of that stuff. It just means that you want to be the best that you can be in a positive sense. You are one candle in a world that is looking for billions of candles. The light of hope, the light of possibility, the light of good, healthy self-love, self-esteem. And so there's where the static comes from. It's what you got to do to survive. It's what you got to do to live. There's an imbalance in there. That's the cosmic static, and that's what you need to work on. And I suspect, certainly during this month here in March, but probably for all of 2023, that will be an ongoing battle. But you got to end the chaos and conflict. You got to live your life with a little bit of joy, right? So there you go. That is the read for today. Back tomorrow with another, because I do a brand new read every day, 365. Hope you're here with me. If not, between now and the next time you and I have a chance to do tarot together, as always, peace and blessings.